Several cold fronts are moving through the state of Wisconsin as we speak right now, and they're going to usher in cooler weather. Just how cool those temperatures will be, and can we expect any storms tonight with that front's passage?
And there are new reports of measles in Wisconsin, the total numbers of cases in the state. Plus, the Packers preseason finale is tomorrow at Lambeau. We'll hear which starters could be taking the field. That is all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Sarah Carlson. Eric Franke is off tonight. He'll be back on Monday. Cooler weather will be moving into the Madison region this weekend. No one is more excited than Alex Arrington. I think can't wait to feel it.
That is very true. I'm excited about having some fall-like weather. No alert days. I don't think anybody on the other side of that camera is also going to be disappointed that we're not having a series of alert days, because we've had so many of them. And with the cold fronts that really are coming through tonight, we're going to be seeing a chance of a thunderstorm. I'll show it to you in a second. And then here's the good stuff that I'm trying to get at. 75 on Saturday, 68 on Sunday. That's the normal high that we'd see right at the end of September. And we're barely even at the end quite of August yet. I was going to say October. I would be moving us a little too fast if I'm talking about October weather. We do have a cold front off towards the north and towards the west. See one lone severe thunderstorm warning way up by Duluth, way up by Lake Superior. And this front is going to slowly work its way towards the south and towards the east. There's a couple showers out ahead of it that front wants to produce here as we head towards that 2-3 o'clock in the morning time frame as it quickly sweeps across southern Wisconsin. But notice how few and far between those showers are. We're not expecting widespread severe weather. That lone severe storm up by Duluth will likely fizzle out pretty quickly. So not expecting big storms tonight at all. Just an isolated chance of a shower, maybe a rumble of thunder. And then the comfy stuff comes in as we go on into the weekend. When you join me next in a few minutes here, in about 15 minutes or so, I'll let you know how cool those temperatures are going to get and which day will be the coolest out of the next 10. That's coming up.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Alex. Right now, there are 5 new measles cases in Wisconsin, and this brings the total cases in the state to 14, all of them coming from Oconto County at this point. Our Tanisha Shaw has more on what you should know.
The Wisconsin Department of Health Services is speaking out after confirming multiple measles cases in the state Friday.
These cases are being identified as we continue to see cases of measles across the United States, with cases being reported in 42 states so far this year.
These cases are announced just weeks after the DHS confirmed the first measles cases in Wisconsin this year, all of them happening in Oconto County.
We were able to tie them back to the original 9 cases.
Measles is highly contagious. Health officials urge everyone to make sure that they know their vaccine status.
If someone is in an indoor space with measles and leaves, the virus remains suspended in the air for up to 2 hours, and someone who is not protected, if they come in during that time period, can contract measles.
Whether they decide to get updated vaccinations or not, most people born before 1957 are already immune to measles.
It's important to note that this is a very small slice, and for many people, particularly those who are born in or before 1957, are already considered immune. If you have at least 1 dose of a measles-containing vaccine outside that time period, you're considered up to date.
Measles symptoms are similar to a common cold.
It can be a runny nose, cough, red watery eyes. They may have a fever, and then the rash will probably come out a couple days later.
If you think you have symptoms, please reach out to your doctor before visiting their office. This is to stay safe and to reduce the spread of measles. Reporting in studio, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. DHS also reported possible measles exposure in both Beloit and Roberts, Wisconsin. Well, the Portage Police Department is responding to allegations that one of its officers abused his own 6-month-old son. Cameron Coronado is charged with child abuse and disorderly conduct with a domestic abuse modifier. The department's police chief says as soon as he learned about the allegations, he took action.
Under my direction, an outside agency was contacted to handle the investigation. I then contacted the business agent from the police union to advise them also of this incident. The officer was immediately placed on administrative leave.
Online records also show Coronado posted bail and is no longer in the Sauk County Jail. His preliminary hearing is set for September 3rd. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic abuse, there are resources available. You can call the Domestic Abuse Intervention Services 24/7 helpline. And if you're not comfortable calling or able to, you can text them at the number at the bottom of your screen. A new candidate has entered the race for governor. Ryan Sternad is a beer vendor at American Family Field. He's also been politically active in unions. He sat down with us on this week's For the Record to talk about his run for office.
I will say that I focus on the working in the middle class, and my background goes back to Milwaukee, with me being a long-time in-seat alcohol vendor at American Family Field where the Brewers play. I've been involved heavily with the union there.
The only other major Democratic candidate in the race right now is Wisconsin's Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez. Well, it's back to school time for many students, which can bring mental stress. Psychiatrist and author of the national best-selling book High Functioning uses the acronym READY to help parents prepare their kids. R stands for routine, E stands for expectations, A for attention, and D for dialogue. Y is for you. She also has advice for parents whose kids are being bullied.
In these cases, you really want to validate what the child is going through. You don't want to say, oh, it's not that bad, or this is typical, because the reality of it is that bullying is way more intense these days.
And she says bullying is more intense because it can happen both in person and online. She recommends parents know their school's anti-bullying policy. Well, today, the UW School of Medicine and Public Health held their annual white coat ceremony, an exciting day. This event marks an important milestone for students that signifies their new responsibility as nurses in the clinical setting. We spoke with one student who's excited for what his professional future holds.
I'm just extremely excited to be here. I'm really excited to get to know my classmates, the start, hopefully, of lifelong friendships and colleagues, as well as really integrate myself into the campus here at University of Wisconsin-Madison to set myself up for success and leave the biggest impact I can.
The white coat ceremony also serves as a way to acknowledge students' hard work while highlighting their value as an essential member of the healthcare team. Well, the Dane County Humane Society is offering extended hours and discounts tomorrow as a final push for its Clear the Shelters adoption campaign. The shelter will be open 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow with extra staff and volunteers. Now, their deals include $75 off adoption fees for dogs, cats for $10 and kittens for $75. 50% off adoption fees and for other critters. And it's $100 or less for Lonely Hearts and Clubs dogs, and then no fees for the Clubs cats. Bring leashes, carriers, and other transport supplies and get ready to adopt. Well, the Packers preseason finale is tomorrow against the Seahawks in Lambeau. We've been waiting for this one. And the Green and Gold's head coach says to expect some starters to play. News 3 Now's senior Packers writer Jason Wilde has more.
39. That's how many Green Bay Packers players were inactive for last year's preseason finale at Lambeau Field against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Baltimore Ravens also didn't play Lamar Jackson and all of their best players either. The thought process being no reason to risk your best players in the final game of the preseason with the start of the regular season 2 weeks away. But this time around, Matt LaFleur is doing things differently, and he is playing his starters at least a little bit. Now, it won't be Jordan Love. It won't be some of the other players that are dealing with injuries. But Matt LaFleur, very clear this week, he's playing his starters, at least for a little while, on Saturday against the Seattle Seahawks.
I think with the fact that you have 2 weeks prior to your first game, you only have, we didn't play them last week, so they should expect to play a little bit.
Now, again, it'll be Malik Willis, the Packers' backup quarterback, starting in Jordan Love's place. There will be a lot of reserve wide receivers getting a lot of work, and there will be other starters, including Xavier McKinney, the star safety on defense, who won't be playing. But you are going to see a lot of familiar names in this game, and then all the guys that are fighting to keep the NFL dream alive, my favorite part of the preseason. We will cover every inch of Packers Seahawks and get you ready for the start of the regular season with all of our coverage on channel3000.com for free. And make sure while you're there, you sign up for our newsletter so you get your Packers coverage delivered directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Thank you, Jason. Again, the Packers take on those Seahawks tomorrow at Lambeau. Kickoff set for 3 p.m. And in case you missed it, WISC-TV and Television Wisconsin have completed a major upgrade to our over-the-air broadcasting system. Those watching with an antenna who are experiencing any problem getting our signal will need to rescan their TVs. All you have to do, it's easy, is open up that menu on the TV, select Settings, then choose Channel Scan or Auto Tune. We also have these instructions at channel3000.com/rescan. Now, these improvements to our signal will only be noticed by viewers who watch us over the air. If you get us on cable, satellite, or streaming, you will not need to make any changes at all. Still to come tonight at 10, multiple people are dead after a school bus crash in New York. And Jerome Powell is signaling a rate cut. What he had to say while giving a speech today when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
At least 5 people are dead and dozens more injured after a tour bus crashed in upstate New York. The bus was carrying around 50 people. Police say that it lost control for unknown reasons, crashed into a ditch and rolled over. A spokesperson for one hospital said that they have seen more than a dozen patients already. The Justice Department released transcripts of an interview with Jeffrey Epstein's convicted accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. In a newly released audio transcript, Maxwell discussed her interactions with President Donald Trump. The Justice Department also shared the first batch of files related to the Epstein case with members of the House Oversight Committee after a subpoena. President Trump says he supports the Justice Department releasing the files. Well, Wall Street soared this morning following a speech from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, where he signaled a rate cut. Powell, whose term as chair expires next May, has faced intense pressure from President Trump to lower those interest rates. Well, there is a chill in the air this weekend with a cold front coming, but will we get any rain? Alex, I'm just looking forward to the beautiful forecast.
I'm looking forward to the chill, and to answer the question about the rain, just tiny chances of rain overnight tonight as a series of 2 cold fronts come through southern Wisconsin. Then behind it, we get the good stuff. We got 7-5 on Saturday, 68 on Sunday, a bit on the breezy side, so that's going to make that fall-like feel, but with the very warm, humid summer that we've had, the severe weather, I think a lot of folks are probably going to like the forecast. Storm tracker right now is showing a couple thunderstorms up towards the Duluth area that are on the severe side with strong winds. There's a front that's moving through the area right now, and then one more cold front off towards the north and towards the west. And as we put future track together, both the front that's trying to move through the center part of the state and the front that's in the northwest part of the state, look how they fizzle as they move through the area. A little bit closer to home here, we can track those showers and a few and far between maybe rumbles of thunder as we head towards 3-4 in the morning, with most places staying dry across southern Wisconsin tonight. Not expecting big storms, not expecting severe weather in southern Wisconsin. Here's what you can expect and the 3 things you need to know. Just that isolated rain chance tonight, sunny and comfy this weekend, and then really, quite frankly, on the cool side as we go into next week. I'll show you how cool here in just a moment. If you do have any travel plans, let's say to the farmers market tomorrow morning, 6:30 in the morning, could have some briefly reduced visibilities, not quite as dense as what we've been experiencing Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, and then this morning as well. And this will be behind that cold front as you have that recipe of that little bit of moisture out there. The winds on the light side and clear skies, that's that recipe for just a little bit of fog, but then that fog gets out of here real quick. Temperatures tonight, mid-60s out there, so maybe you're someone like me, I consider that a touch on the muggy side, leave the AC on. But as you go into Saturday, you might consider turning the AC off because the breeze will start to pick back up again. Temperatures 72 to 75. That's anywhere between 5 to 8 degrees below normal on Saturday. And again, this starts the trend of the temperatures going down. 68 on Sunday, 67 on Monday, 69 on Tuesday, lows in the 40s. We haven't seen this since May. Temperatures at this chill here, a tiny chance of a shower Wednesday night going into Thursday. And as we take our full screen here of our 10-day, we see just how long this prolonged period is going to last across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures in the 70s and then lows in the 50s overnight. Right now, though, ragweed, that is high out there right now. Trees, grass, and mold are low, but just want to point out ragweed season is on the way. So if you're susceptible to that, you may want to consider taking those allergy meds. But stunning picture here. Let's end the weather on a positive note. This is near Mazo. Amory, thank you for sending us this. Scan the QR code if you want to send in your photo, but we got a nice sunrise in between the barn and the silo there to our friends to the west by about 25 minutes on Highway 14 in Mazo.
I have a feeling you will be bombarded by beautiful photos
Yes.
for the next several days.
Probably lots of sunny photos, so bring them on.
Exactly. Love it. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
And you haven't been busy at all.
No, we say bring on the high school football.
Yeah.
What a time of year. Still to come in sports, week 1 of the final drive starts with a splash, plus some late game magic for the Brewers. That's all coming up next on News 3 Now. Welcome into week 1 of the final drive. I'm Andrew Banstra, fired up to be on the ride with you through another high school football season. We start with our game of the night, a tilt between Lodi and Monroe. A pair of 7-win playoff teams last season. The Blue Devils brought home the state title 2 years back, looking to get back to that level, while the Cheesemakers were an early playoff exit last year. All the makings of a wonderful week 1 matchup. First quarter, Monroe on the move. Noah Spots nearly into the end zone, but not so fast. Correll Branch pokes it free. Number 2 was making plays all over the field tonight. None bigger than that. Lodi comes away with it. Talk about a momentum changer. And later, the Blue Devils throw another punch, this time a haymaker. Alex Brunig says bombs away. A 60-yard heave finds the hands of Bennett Nyquist, who's not going to be caught. Lodi locks up the week 1 win, 21-14. Elsewhere in our area, Janesville Craig took care of business against Sun Prairie West, winning 22-16, while the Golden Beavers of Beaver Dam found success against Fort Atkinson big time, 48-0 the score. Sticking around for more, the result of the I-138 rivalry flipped for the 5th year in a row. Oregon stifling Stoughton 35-18, and Reedsburg, another Beaver in our area, with another big win, 42-0 the score there. Lately, New Glarus High has shown us that they should be known for more than Spotted Cow, but for football too. The Knights had their first winning season since 2017 last year, facing Pecatonica Argyle, looking for their first winning season since 2018. But New Glarus, they've got some guys, starting with that quarterback, Quinn Marty, who is more than just an arm. Look at those wheels on the quarterback. He slips away for the first down and gives way to his backfield mate, Milo Johnson, who just jogs down the sideline for another night score. What a night it was for New Glarus, who run it up on Peck Argyle, 49-0 the score. Headed to Lake Mills for a classic crosstown matchup, the Slider Bowl, where the L-Cats of Lake Mills made it 2 in a row over Lakeside Lutheran. Meanwhile, Lancaster rang the bell, a 28-16 win over Belleville. If the Chieftains have their way in 2025, it will be a year of redemption. Last season, Potosi Cassville got all the way to the state title game and lost. The only problem is Cuba City, they want some redemption too. The Cubans only in the regular season last year lost to the Chieftains. That was in week 1, and we run it back in 2025. Courtesy of our friends at Queen Bee Radio. And PC, they made the title game because they have a need for speed. They hunt for every chance to hit the gas. And on the opening kickoff, Hunter White wasting no time going for it all. He could go all the way. Are you kidding me? The first play of the season, a 93-yard house call. The Chieftains take an early lead. They never give up. Check this out later in the game with one of the better snags you're going to see all season long, courtesy of the man himself, the wide receiver, Frederick, who fetches it over the defender, and Potosi Cassville wins big, 27-6, the final score. From football to baseball, because Willie Adames made his return to AmFam and didn't skip a beat. The former Brewer bashes the first pitch he sees for a homer. How about that? But his fellow Willie would get the last laugh. Tied at 4 in the 9th, and you can forget about it. William Contreras walks off the Giants. 5-4, the final score. And we are less than a week away from Wisconsin football kicking off their 2025 season. Eric Franke and I will get you ready for it. We're hosting Wisconsin Game Day, a live special from the UW Fieldhouse at 6:30 next Thursday, getting you ready for game day and, of course, breaking down the X's and O's. But elsewhere, college football will get kicking early. Week 0 of the college football season is nearly upon us. Stanford makes the trip to Hawaii tomorrow night, that is, at 6:30 right here on CBS. That's your morning sports fix, and we're going to be right back with a final check of that first warn forecast.
In the world of dinosaurs, this is a cool one. We could call it Spike, but we'll say the real name soon. We have to run this. Officials at the Natural History Museum in London say this new species had a sail-like structure all the way down its back. It's called the Istiorachis macarthurae. Researchers named it in honor of legendary British sailor Ellen MacArthur. Scientists don't know why the dino had such an exaggerated feature, but say it might have been beneficial in finding mates. The specimen was found roughly 40 years ago, but was originally thought to be a part of a different species, the Istiorachis macarthurae. I'm just
Thank
so proud.
goodness
I'm just so proud
you
of
have to
myself.
read those names. I could not read those names.
Yes, you could.
Bravo.
You'd be better than I, but I've been practicing all night since 6. Anyway,
Cold front.
Yes.
Cold front's on its way through, but future track showing as that cold front comes through, those showers and few thunderstorms, few and far between. Don't be surprised to hear rumble of thunder, but a lot of places are going to stay dry. What will be widespread, the temperatures being well below normal all the way through the 10-day, refreshing, almost late September-like weather on the way.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Alex, and thanks for watching News 3 Now at 10. Have a great weekend. Colbert is next, and our next news show is tomorrow morning at 5. You can always find us